Hello, and thank you for joining this G Suite by Kimbley IT webinar. I'm James Kimbley, the founder of Kimbley IT, and let's take you through G Suite and why it's such an awesome product for your business. We include G Suite for all our clients, so when you sign up to our IT support package, which is £70 per user per month at the moment, you'll get G Suite included in that package. So your G Suite licenses are included along with some backup licenses and security licenses and all that. So it's just one fixed price and you'll get G Suite for your business. COVID has changed everything. Remote is now the new normal. As you can see on this slide, how many people were working at home before COVID was only 3.6%. And now after COVID, because COVID has happened, we are now living in a world after COVID. COVID still exists, but we're in that world after COVID. And as you can see, it's been a massive increase in home working. A vast majority of you guys listening to this webinar will have been working from home. And I predict that this number is going to expand from 25, 30%. It's going to grow because businesses are just really enjoying working from home. There's so many benefits there for the employees. They're not having to waste time commuting and having to spend money on car parking and food and stuff like that. It's quite addictive for them. Every time they check their bank account, they got some more money in there that they didn't have before. So they're not going to want to go back to work, or if they do, I mean, they are going to want to go back to work. I mean, they're not going to go back to the office. If they do, it will only be on a part-time basis in the office. The vast majority will want to work from home and continue working from home. And that's a conversation that now will happen, where they were too scared to ask about that before. That's something they will talk about. As you can see here, 74% of CFOs said that they intend to shift staff that were previously always on site to more flexible remote working. It's going to be a work from anywhere environment that we're going into. This is the main problem, though, that most businesses have had, is that they found out that their IT wasn't really up to scratch. They weren't able to collaborate, they had security problems, and solutions weren't fixed quickly enough. So there was disconnect. People weren't able to work easily from home. Of course, companies that were Kimbley IT that had G Suite, they had no problems working from home. Everything's run through a browser, so they just turn their computer on, log in at gmail.com, and they've got access to everything. But for the vast majority of companies that haven't got proper remote working software, they struggled and they found it hard. So this has brought more businesses online to G Suite. In fact, over the lockdown, we've had our most successful periods where we've had more clients come on board than ever before because they need to be able to work from anywhere. So if your business can't at the moment, you really do need to concentrate on this webinar and decide, okay, let's move to G Suite because that's the way to go. There we go. G Suite is an integrated workspace. It allows teams to work together from anywhere really easily. So these are some of the businesses that are using G Suite. As you can see, some very well recognized names there, such as Airbus, Netflix, Capital One. You can see them, you know them, and they're all using G Suite and they've had no issues. They've just been able to get straight on with it. You can see some of our clients are listed there as well, like Zap Shelter, Power Minerals, Belmont Healthcare. No issues whatsoever. They were just able to get on, carry on working. Their teams were able to work from anywhere. So here you go. Why do you want to go to G Suite? It's simple. Everything's in the cloud. So when I say everything's in the cloud, this is true cloud. All you need is your web browser to access G Suite. So that's Gmail for your emails, Google Calendar, Google Drive, and many other apps that are included, such as Google Meet for video calls. It's all done inside your browser. You don't need to download any software. You don't need to install any software. It's always up to date because it's cloud-based. It's always working because you've got the whole of Google's support teams over at Mountain View and around the world, making sure that the system is always running. Helpful. It's got technology in there, some smart Google AI. A great example is in Gmail, where you can start typing an email and it will predict what you want to write and it will complete the rest of the sentence for you. I did that once where I wrote about 5 words and I ended up with a 50-word email just because I let the AI take over and do the rest of the email for me. Saved me loads of time. And there you go, flexible. It works on any device, any browser. So you could, I say you can use 90% of the work you do on your computer at the moment, you can do from your mobile phone once you move to G Suite because the apps are so capable. And everything you do on one device mirrors on the other device automatically. So there's no syncing or having to wait around for that. There's no needing to talk to IT to get you set up on a computer. You can just use whatever device you want and it's secure. 2.2 billion people are using Google's apps already. So the best thing about that is if you get a new starter come on board, they most likely know how to use Gmail, Google Drive, and Google Calendar to start off with. So your training costs go down massively. As you can see, compared to 365, 68% of users really enjoy working with G Suite, while only 30% of users enjoy using Microsoft 365. 365 is old. It requires programs to be installed to get full functionality, has to run on a computer, so you therefore have a hardware cost because you're going to need to make sure that the computers you're using have the capability to run the software that you want your employees to use at a good quality, good level of usability. You don't want it to be slowing down and stuff like that. You don't get that with G Suite because it's just in the browser, so everything just runs as fast as it possibly can all the time. So talking about the AI, this really helps you get the mundane tasks out of the way, while you can focus on the stuff you're really interested in. So, for example, as the one I gave earlier with emails, where you start typing and it will predict what you want to write next. It's based on what you've written in the past and things like that, and it's really, really good, and it will just predict what you're doing next and fill that in for you. Google Sheets, which is the spreadsheet program, that will use you can use natural language to create formulas inside that. So if you don't know all the formulas, no one knows all the formulas, but if you don't know a formula, you can type in natural language, just so how you normally talk to somebody, what you want to happen. So you want to have a bar chart being built using data from column A, column B. You can just type something like that in, and it will work out what you want, and it will build the graph for you, and it will insert the formulas itself. It will also show you the formulas so you can look at them and study them and even modify them if you want to. But it's using AI to really get rid of the mundane, and in some cases with Google Sheets and formulas, the more tasking challenges out of the way by letting the AI step in and doing that for you. So flexible. It's really, really simple to use. The key thing with this is it's got real-time collaboration, and it's the best in breed by a long, long way. So you can open a document and have someone else open a document, and you can type and they can type, and you see who's typing at the same time. We have a client based in London who he's out and about very often, so he has his PA, and when he needs to have a letter or a document created, he'll open it on his mobile phone, the document, and while having a telephone call using Google Voice, he will talk to his PA and dictate what he wants created, and he can watch her type that into the document and make alterations and changes as he requests over the phone. So that's really saved him so much time, and they can get letters and documents out very, very quickly. G Suite also integrates into tons of third-party apps, so like Xero or DocuSign. DocuSign has a plugin inside Gmail, so if you were to send me a document, a PDF that needed signing, rather than me having to jump out to PDF DocuSign's website and doing all that kind of stuff, I can sign it there and then inside Gmail without having to leave Gmail and send it back to you, in a matter of minutes, rather than what it could be a good 10, 15, 20 minutes potentially if I have to go out to the DocuSign website and upload the file and do all that kind of stuff and modify it, then send it back to you. So it's just flexibility and flow, really, really, really quick and easy to work when you're using G Suite. Of course, it's secure. It's running on Google's data center, so you've got the whole of Google's vast security teams making sure G Suite is as secure as possible. It's way more than anything you could do if your little server that you've got in your office sitting in the corner that you probably haven't updated for a long time, or you've got an IT company that says they're doing so. This is always using, because it's you've got the whole of Google's security team there from all around the world, 24/7, monitoring all the time, keeping up to date and keeping it secure. So if any vulnerabilities are detected, they're patched almost immediately, and you are covered. Really, really good. Spam protection, best in class by a long, long way. So if you're using 365, you've probably got a subscription for another spam protection company to sit on top of your 365, because 365's built-in spam protection is next to useless, and nearly everyone who's using 365 will have an extra license you're paying for to have someone else filter your spam, and really Microsoft should be doing that for you. Well, G Suite, you don't need any of that. It's all built in. It's using AI again, and it blocks all your spam. To be honest, you're going to be really unlucky if you receive one spam email into your inbox during the whole year. That's how good it is. And it doesn't get things wrong either. So I've not checked my spam folder for a long, long time. And as far as I'm aware, I've not missed any emails at all. These are some of the apps that you get access to. These are the key ones. These are the main ones. So you've got Gmail for your email, Google Calendar for your appointments and scheduling, Google Chat, which is your instant messaging program, Google Meet, which is your video call program, which is way, way better than Zoom or Teams. It doesn't require any software to be installed. You literally send a link to somebody else and they click on that link and then the video call. It just opens in their Google Chrome browser or Safari or whatever browser they choose to use, and they can join straight away. Google Voice is the telephone system. Google Currents is a business social network, so you can post updates and things like that. It's great for enterprise and bigger companies, but for smaller businesses, probably not used as much. Google Docs is for word processing. Google Sheets, spreadsheets. Google Slides is your presentation slide decks. Google Drive is where you store all your data. And with G Suite by Kimbley IT, you get unlimited space, and you can stick whatever type of file you want in there. So it doesn't have to be a Google file. It can be anything. It can be a PDF. It could be a video. It could be Word or Excel documents that you can stick in there. Nice thing is Google Drive can also open Word, Excel, and PowerPoint documents without any conversion needed. So you can keep them in the original format of Word, Excel. You can make your changes and then send them back to somebody in that same format as well. Google Forms is amazing, but it's kind of hidden in the UI interface. But Google Forms will allow you to create a form for people to fill in through their web browser on their mobile phone. Dead simple. But what it does in the background is it collects all that data and it puts it into a spreadsheet automatically for you. So you've got that data that you can manipulate and do whatever you want with straight away. Jamboard is like a virtual whiteboarding. So you can imagine you've got a whiteboard and it's online or it's on your screen. You can write on it, stick pictures on it, do whatever you want and share it with people. It's great for planning and working out things that you want to do. Google Sites is best for an intranet, so you can build your own intranet there. It's you don't need to know any coding. It's just dragging and dropping, so you can drag a video into one side of the page, drag some text into the other, drag a form and all that kind of stuff. So you don't need to know any coding whatsoever, but you can build a really nice intranet for your business. AppScript, you do need to know a bit of programming for. What AppScript is, it allows you to connect lots of different things into different areas of G Suite. So, for example, you could have a Google Sheet, which then connects to maybe some data that you're importing from another system that's collecting that data, and that can populate into the Google Sheet, and you can then manipulate that data. So AppScript is your kind of customization connecting bit of software you can use to connect different elements to different services. Google Keep is note-taking. So with that, you've got an app called Keep, and you can just take notes on that. It's think of it as like your virtual post-it note application. Control is part you're never going to need to really enter, because as being part of G Suite by Kimbley IT, we look after this control area section for you, but it's a security center, so we can see what's going on there inside the software. Endpoint management means that we can look after your devices or your mobile phones and computers. So if they get stolen, we could send a wipe command to remove any of the data that may be on there that's still on that computer and block it from accessing anymore. Admin is the admin console where we add and remove users and do lots of different things. Google Vault is very useful. This is an e-discovery tool, and actually saved a client of ours £250,000 in legal liabilities last year. Essentially, what happened there is Google Vault records everything that happens. So a year prior, one of their employees has sent an email out to a customer with a date on it, a contractual deadline date. A year later, that customer emailed back claiming that our client had missed that date, that deadline, and they'd sent an email attachment back claiming it to be the email the employee had originally sent. But the employee was certain the date wasn't correct, and that wasn't the date she sent. It was quite easy to find because we went into a sent items. We could see actually that they'd manipulated this email and sent this fake email back by her sent items being differently. But with Google Vault, it allowed us to go in there and actually prove that the email that our client originally sent had been manipulated, and it would actually stand up in court. So they then pass this information on to their client, who was committing fraud essentially, and that was it. That was the end of it. It never went any further. But without Google Vault, they could have been liable up to £250,000 if they were unable to prove that email had been manipulated. So, real useful tool. These are the tools you'll be using nearly all the time, the communication tools. So Gmail, Calendar, Chat, Meet, and Voice. You probably won't be using Currents that much unless you're an enterprise business, but let's go through them. So Gmail is the window you have open all the time. As you can see there on the right-hand side, there's a nice GIF of it running there. It's about to have a big update take place, which is going to add a few more functionality to it. But It is the best email client out there by a long, long way. Like I said, it doesn't need anything installing, so it can't go wrong. It doesn't break. It's just running in your browser. Gmail, as you can see, also has chat built into it, so you can talk to your colleagues and external partners very simply. It's also got video calling built directly into there, and it's the same on the mobile phone. If you look at the screenshot of the mobile phone, you've got chat rooms and video calls, Meet down there. So it's all done inside one app. So it's your communications center, your communications hub, and where you generally live for most of your time. You'll nearly, when I say live most of the time, it means you'll nearly have this Gmail website tab open all the time in your browser, and you'll be there using it very frequently. So this is the group chat. So this is called rooms. They are exactly what they say. They're chat rooms that you can create and put people in there. You could build a chat room maybe about a project that you're working on. As you can see on the screenshot, Project Clover. You may have one that's like the water cooler in the office where everyone can go in and they can just chat about whatever they like, which is especially with a reduction in the use of offices since COVID. So you have some fun chat rooms, but you also have some serious chat rooms there. And it makes it very easy to collaborate with all the people that are relevant to that project in this case. To get in communication and share things and share documents very easy that they're working on, and files. And of course, if you put an out of office in there it's got some digital being built in. So if you've got your out of office turned on, it will automatically mute the room for you, so you don't get woken up at night time if you're asleep and such stuff like that. So Google Meet is the video calling element of G Suite. It's modern in that it only needs a browser to work in. So unlike Zoom, where you've got to install software, well, they force you to install software to use it. You don't need to do any of that nonsense. You just click on a link or ring in the dial. Is a dial every video call you create. There'll be a telephone number that people can call in for the camera shy, and they can ring that number and get in there, or just click on the link and they're straight into the video call. It can hold up to 250 people per meeting. Good luck in moderating that. I don't know how you go about doing that. If you have a big company as well, you can do company-wide streaming up to 100,000 people, and you can share your screen very simply and do presentations such as this one that we're holding at the moment inside Google Meet. So Google Calendar makes it very easy to schedule meetings. As you can see on this image that's taking place at the moment, this animation, what we're doing here is we're able to see a colleague's calendar. So Julia, in this case, you click on her name and it's overlaying her calendar on top of yours, so you can easily spot a section where you can both meet. You can then create an event and invite Julia to it, or have a video call. Up to you. Video call's better though. So this is an example of the AI taking over in a document. So as you can see, this person here is creating a marketing plan 2020. And if you look down there, you'll see a blue box that says Smart Compose. So as this person is typing the document in, you'll see that it's added a light gray text afterwards, and that's what it's predicting will be written next. If it's correct, all you do is hit the tab button and those words have automatically been inserted for you. This is the same as what you'd see inside Gmail when you're writing a Gmail or writing an email or replying to an email. So it's saving you a massive amount of time, because it's really very quick, and it gets it right. I'd say probably 85% of the time. Very, very good. Great time saver. So Google Voice is the telephony aspect of G Suite. This is an add-on, so it doesn't get included in G Suite. You do have to purchase this separately to G Suite. It's about £15 per user per month. But again, this is also built into G Suite and into your Gmail. So if you're in Gmail and someone calls you, you'll actually get an icon appear inside Gmail, and you can answer the call via your computer through the web browser or your mobile phone. Use the Google Voice app. There are desk phones as well, but desk phones are kind of dying out, because you don't really need that when everyone's got a laptop and everyone's got a headset, because everyone's doing video calling at the moment. So the vast majority of people have a headset that they can just plug into their laptop and they can take and make calls through the laptop. So it kind of kills off the need for a desktop phone, but they are available if you do insist on having those. So Google Meet, as we spoke about before, is the video calling element. This also has hardware that you can set up inside your office to if you've got a dedicated room for video calls, then it's worth having. You've got a camera that you can stick on top of your TV. You've got a microphone and speakers that sit in the middle of your table, and you also have a touch panel control screen so anyone can easily access it. It's also now voice activated as well, so you can say a keyword and it will get you straight in there, so you don't have to. Because of COVID, we don't want everyone touching the touch panel display. So that's all voice command and control now if you want to. So Currents is the social networking part of G Suite, the social networking service. It's essentially a bit like LinkedIn. You go in there, you share an update, you can pick who can see that update, if it's just for a specific team or if it's a company-wide update. People can comment back, they can like it and share their things as well. So it's just an engagement platform, really. It is a social network private to your business. As I said at the start, most small businesses don't really use this. I think when you're probably getting to a company of maybe 50 or more employees, then it may become of use. But if you're less than 50 employees, you're probably not going to use it that frequently. The vast majority of your communications will be done via Google Chat and the instant messaging element. This is actually a client story of one of our clients who recorded last Christmas. They all work from home using G Suite.
My name's Chloe and I'm the founder and director of Lodestar Accounting. Lodestar Accounting is based from my home, but we've got members of the dream team, as we call them, all over the country. The team members work from home. A couple of the staff members do come into my home for a couple of days, but the majority work remotely. We use the Google suite, so we use Gmail. Google Hangouts is one of our main areas that we use, using the instant messaging and the video calling as well. So that's with the team members and with clients as well. Our main client base is small businesses, but they are spread across a variety of industries. Having Kimbley IT as a support provider really helps me have the comfort and the peace of mind that things are going to work smoothly, which is really important with our business, ensuring that we can service our clients efficiently. The team at Kimbley IT also helped me think of better ways of doing things. So there was a time when I was using normal folders within Google Drive, and James suggested that we use shared drive folders, which was a new feature I think that had just been released on Google Drive, and that was really useful. It meant that I was able to share things with the team in a really secure way. Working remotely and in the cloud has been a godsend for the family, really. It's cut 2 hours travel time out of my day each day, so that's like 10 hours a week, which is time I can now spend with the family, and walking the dogs and just doing general boring housework. So it really has changed the way that I work and the way that I operate, and ultimately our family life.
So there you go. Let's move on to the next slide. So collaboration. These are your collaboration tools that we spoke about a bit earlier. Let's go into a bit more detail on them. So as you can see, this is a demo of real-time collaboration in Google Docs. You can do this in Sheets and Slides as well. You can actually do it on Word and Excel documents if you edit them inside Google Drive. So best in breed, as you can see, there's two people there typing, working on the document at the same time. They don't need to email this document backwards and forwards and make changes. They can both connect to the same document and make their changes. There's a full rollback history as well. So if someone were to go in and screw a document up, where you can actually jump back to, very simply, a couple of clicks, back to a previous version before that person messed it up for you. You can also leave comments on here, and you can mention people to give them tasks on the document. So it's very, very powerful stuff here. And it just massively increases productivity. So here we can see this is a Google Sheet, and it's got a nice little chart being built, and it's been inserted into a PowerPoint PowerPoint presentation. I can't believe I said that, into a Google slide. And as you can see, you just copy that chart and you paste it in. And any changes you make to that chart in Google Sheets at a later date will be updatable inside the slide. So you've always got the latest version, so you'd have to go and cut and paste the graphic back in. It's already there. So as you can see, they click the update button after they've made some changes, and that's now updated in the slide, and that saved you a load of time. So this is an example of PIP. It's called Picture in Picture. So as you can see, there is the video call taking place. This is inside Gmail. Well, she's actually inside a Google document inside Gmail. So you've got three things going on here. You've got a video call taking place. They're editing a Google document at the same time while inside Gmail, so they can keep an eye on any emails coming in or chat to anyone else. And this is a new feature that's coming out. It's not out just yet, but it will be out in a couple of weeks' time. And that's just going to be so nice. You're working on a document and you can do a video call instantaneously with the person that you're working alongside with. So you're in the same room, essentially. Especially now, as you can't be in the same office. This is going to be a really valuable new feature that's been added. I can't wait for it to come out and start using that. So here we go. This is a Word document being edited inside Google Drive, and it's staying in the Word format. As you can see up there, they're highlighting that it's a docx document rather than being in a Google format, which means if you've got people who really insist on you using a Word document and sending it back in a Word document rather than needing, previously you'd have to convert it into a Google document, do your edits, and then convert it back into a Word document. You don't need to do that anymore. You can edit Word, Excel, and PowerPoint documents directly in Google Drive in their native format, so no needing to edit. And this is kind of useful because what it means is you can save a lot of money because you won't need to have Microsoft Office licenses at all. You won't need to keep a copy of Word, Excel, or PowerPoint to edit those documents. You can do all that stuff inside Google Drive. So Google Drive is where you store the documents. It can be any type of file you like. It's unlimited space. There's many ways of finding documents. So on the right-hand side, you'll see that it says the word priority. And if you see these 4 thumbnails across the top, it depends how big your screen is. You can have more than 4 if you've got a bigger screen. But this is using AI actually to work out which documents you're most likely going to want to need to use based on what you've been doing before. So maybe you just had an email conversation with somebody, such as this one here, and it knows that you've just had an email. So when you open Google Drive, it's going to bring this file up because it knows that email was related to that email conversation you had, and you're probably going to want to open it. Likewise, you can create workspaces for files that you most frequently use. This could be for a project, or it could be for a customer, and you're just keeping their files in one area that you can get to it very, very quickly. So it's a nice little workspace there. And of course, you've got Google search across the top. So if you can't find the file you're looking for, you'll find it very quickly just by typing in a few words, and that document will pop up and you can start using it. There's lots of third-party applications that you can integrate into Google Drive. As I mentioned, they've actually got DocuSign, got it here in the slide. DocuSign is a great example, but there are many others. As you can see, Slack, Dropbox is one of them, Zoom. So you can actually have Zoom meetings in Google Calendar. So typically when you create a video call in Google Calendar, it will have the option for Google Meet. But with Zoom integration, you can also have an option for Zoom straight away. So you don't need to go to the Zoom website. You can do it all from inside Google Calendar. This is Google Sites, where you can build your own intranet. As I said, it was drag and drop. Just select what you want to put in there, and you can build your own private intranet for your business. It could be a documentation, how to do things for onboarding, so people can get up to speed straight away, whatever you want it to be, really. But it's very simple to create, build, manage, use, and share out with your workforce. Google Forms, absolutely. I love this. I love Google Forms. I use it so often. It's a great way to collect data very simply. The vast majority of people do forms incorrectly. They'll either send out a Word document for you to fill in. The worst ones will send you out a PDF where you can't edit the PDF and you end up having to print it off, write on it, scan it back in, email it back in. It's very odd because a form is normally very important in starting a process. So a lot of people make it very difficult to start a process by using the wrong type of software. But with Google Forms, you can create a form quickly, send it to somebody with a link. They click on the link, it opens up in their web browser or on their mobile phone. They fill it in, enter their details, and all in the background, it collects all that data and puts it into a spreadsheet for you. So you can easily see the responses, you can easily manipulate and do what you need to do with that data to get the information that you want to extract from it to make a decision. So managing G Suite, this is the admin console that I mentioned earlier, which you probably won't ever use or need access to. We do all this stuff behind the scenes. So it's like setting up new users, setting up mailing groups, getting devices all connected, getting Chrome browsers set up and having the right extensions installed, all that sort of fun stuff. So here we go. As I said, keeping your data protected. So we deploy and we hand out security keys to everyone. When you come on board with us, everyone will get a security key. It's a USB key that they plug in. We started doing that about a year ago because Google started rolling out at their headquarters, and ever since they rolled it out, they've not had a single successful attack where someone has taken over or phished an account of a user. So we thought that's fantastic. So we hand these keys out. So whenever you sign up to Kimbley IT, your whole team will get a security key, and it makes you uber secure. Very, very difficult for someone to break into your account once we've done that. So when you move to G Suite, you have tons of compliance built in. There's uber security, lots of controls over how data can be used, how it can be shared out, what functions and accesses people have to. So for example, normally if you've got contractors, they get a much more reduced access to G Suite compared to your full-time employees. You're also protected under GDPR because G Suite is completely GDPR compliant, along with many other regulations that it meets, which you can check out on the G Suite regulatory website. This is key. You always own your data, not Google. There's a lot of myths out there, especially by IT companies that don't like G Suite and only do Microsoft, that Google owns your data. They don't. There's a service called Google Takeout. You can use that at any point to leave G Suite. And that service, Google Takeout, will allow you to download all your data into usable formats. So it's not going to download them and put them into a proprietary format that you can't use. You can download this data and it will put it into formats that you can use on any other service. So you're free to walk at any point and take your data. Google does not own it. So why does G Suite make sense for your business? Here you go. Here's some stats. I really like this stat here. So it says 140 million students and teachers are using G Suite for education. They don't use, you'll notice they don't use Microsoft Office anymore. So that means anyone new coming into the workforce, as I said earlier, probably already knows how to use Gmail, Calendar, and Google Drive. Therefore, that's going to save you a load, I was about to say a shitload, I have now, on training. So yeah, very, very useful that is to know. There you go. There's some value that G Suite is going to bring for your investment. And just look at the time you save. It's a ridiculous amount of time you use. And a lot of that will be down to the AI in G Suite, just serving you documents quicker, completing documents for you, and just making life a lot easier. You can't get time back. So that's probably the most valuable bit of information on this slide. Here's a great one. ATB Financial. It's a bank. I think it's based over in Canada. Anyway, they were able to get their entire history. This was 35 terabytes of data, including 340 email messages, migrated over to G Suite, and there was no disruption at all. Just imagine trying to do that with like Lotus Notes or something like that. You'd be down for like a week while the migration takes place. So yes, instantaneously, it takes place in the background. Typically when we migrate somebody, a business, we start it on a Friday, and by the time they get back to work on a Monday, it's all done. It is an integrated workplace, and it does help your team get their work done from anywhere with ease. Some of the companies that are using it, As you can see, you've got some innovative companies there like Monzo, the bank, Netflix, Spotify. Then you've got really some established companies, Airbus probably being the most significant one there. And in the UK, Manchester City Council, which has been around a long, long time. They've moved to G Suite and they're loving it. So if you want to get started today, you can do. You just need to reach out and get in contact with us. Go to kimbley.com/G Suite to check out G Suite, or you can go to kimbley.com/IT support to see the whole package that you'll get. Because remember, we include this in our IT support package as well. So not only do you get G Suite, but you get amazing support for and assistance for your computers, software, and most importantly, your employees. They can contact us at any time via instant messaging. I'll be honest with you, the vast majority of the time, it's all about assistance. It's very rare that the services that we put in break. I'd say like 2% of the time we're fixing support issues, where support issues are things that aren't working as they should be working. The rest of it is all guiding and telling people how to do things better. They drop us a message going, "Hey, James, I've been doing this process. Is there a quicker way I can do it?" "Yeah, why don't you do it this way?" And then we'll explain how to do that. And they gain so much time, and that's what you're paying for, the time that we save your guys. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the webinar, and thank you for attending.